Good morning, 24. Are we ready to go? We are going on an expedition today. So here we are. Now, the trick for today, if you're on my mailing list, I'm going to send you this out, so you're more than welcome to trace it because it has a lot of lines in it. But the trick for today is actually to imagine it's not a person on their expedition. Use a pencil and also breathe, because remember, we are painting a rhinoceros in a tent, outside a tent, with some rusty with some rusty horseshoes. So lower the pressure, no pressure. But the expedition today, on my page, I'm going to leave a little space here because I've got some other ideas of what needs to go there. So actually, what I'm going to do is put my, I'll just zoom in for you. I'm going to put this blow up kind of mat, air mat. Take it here, kind of to the middle. And there we have something nice and curvy to sleep on. I'm going to do the same design here, but like just a smaller one for the pillow. Nice little curvy pillow. I'm going to finish that off there because that's kind of going to be where I put the lady who is on her expedition. Put her head. Just put in a nice little circle part there. We've got the pillow. Now, I'm going to put a little line across like this. That's going to be the blanket. I'm going to put a little line here. That's going to be the hand. I'm going to take that hand out and bring it back in. And I'm just going to duck the fingers away. Looks a bit weird to start with, but it'll all make sense in a little while. So here, tucked up under this bit of blanket, we have a nose and some closed eyes and some unsuspecting eyebrows. We take this side of the face and then we're going to put the hairline, a little bit of a headband, some sort of bandana, and then the rest of the hair. And that can just be kind of flowing however you want around the face. If you need to look at that a few times, it's fine. They're all really just little shapes and getting the little marks on the page in the right place. So here we've got the arm coming down and we have the blanket. We've got a shoulder coming up and down, the elbow, back up to the arm. And there we go. That's our person. There they are. I do love how the rhinoceros is looking at her. And the rest is just our expedition sleeping bag. So over here, we've just got a few little folds of the bag. Nice little folds. They'll be fun to paint. Can bring the bag down. She can kind of be clutching the bag a little bit. That way. Sometimes the bags have those little kind of bobbles in them like that, don't they? Because they're kind of felted, like attached like that or something. I don't know. However you want to do your sleeping bag is fine. But there she is. Let's ink her in. Pull that blanket up, any of the kind of bits that you want to accentuate. We're just going to round out her shoulder slightly. Little pillow here. It's amazing how just a few little shapes you really make the image kind of make sense as well. You don't, sometimes when you grow up thinking that you can't draw because maybe you've been told at school, oh, you know, did you draw that? Or, you know, school starts to tell you you're not allowed to trace and all that kind of stuff. Whatever happens, and you end up having this belief about yourself that you can't draw. And then someone sits down and shows you in a few kind of easy to understand steps just the kind of shapes involved. And it's not just the shapes involved, it's also how you kind of, the expectation you put on yourself to kind of be perfect. And we have a saying in the Art Skill Academy that you might have heard, practice makes perfect. Well, we like to say practice makes progress, because I've been practicing for decades and I have progressed, and I am definitely not perfect. And all the expectation that comes along with that kind of language as well. But you may have surprised yourself today. You might have looked and gone, this is the other thing I hear people say. Sometimes they get this far and they look and they go, yes, but I wouldn't have been able to do it by myself. I hear that all the time. People say, oh yeah, but I couldn't have done it if I wasn't doing it with you. And I think about people who learn to drive, and the driving instructor says, you know, takes them wherever they go and says, oh, you know, you did really well today. And the person learning to drive doesn't go, oh yes, but you know, if I wasn't taking driving lessons, I wouldn't be able to do it. They go, yeah, I did do good today, didn't I? I really did that roundabout really well. And you know, they might know that they have a good driving instructor. It's not that they're trying to go, oh, you know, I'm the best at driving. But when it comes to painting, we often put this pressure on ourselves that we don't need somebody to teach us. We should just already know it. It should just be natural talent. Either you are born with the ability to drive a car or you're not. So if you weren't born with the ability to drive a car, then you might as well give up now. And it's so kind of hypocritical. It's just not fair to think that you should know how to do something without somebody teaching it to you. And even when you then are following the instructions, you're not going to get it right all the time. I don't get it right all the time. If you've been with me for a while, you've seen me not get it right quite a lot. And it's not that, it's what you do after that. It's the story that you tell yourself inside your mind about how much fun you've had doing it. I'm just going to use my hairdryer really quickly because I want to do the face, and all these things are touching each other, and if I do them, they might just bleed into each other. So excuse me for a second. Mustn't forget to unmute or else we'll be painting her again. I'm just using my little my Cotman travel set today. It's a Winsor & Newton travel set, really good for beginners and really good, as the name suggests, for traveling. And I'm using cold pressed paper. This is my sketchbook. You can get it from my shop. It's gorgeous. I love it. This is cold pressed paper, different to hot pressed paper. It's got a rougher surface, which is really nice for watercolors because you can see you can get these really lovely dry brush textures, like the paint is just gliding over the surface like that. If you're using a mixed media book or hot pressed, you might get different results, and that is fine. You haven't done anything wrong. That's just a different type of paper. Just going to do a little bit of skin colour with some ochre, red and blue. I'm waiting for this bit of face to dry before I go ahead and put the colour on the pillow. I don't know if you saw that, but all the water in the world from my brush fell onto my headband. So this is the expedition. I hope it made you chuckle because it was my intention to be a little bit funny and kind of create a bit of tension with the rhinoceros and the tent. And then when the word was expedition, I kind of felt like it made sense a little bit to have a person on their expedition who didn't know that the rhinoceros was there. So hopefully you found that you find that a little bit funny. I'm hoping you do. We're going to go ahead and just put a little bit of just a few little folds here for the sleeping bag. I always like to do my first layer a little bit lighter, especially with an ink and wash painting, because then I can come in and put a few extra coloured marks without it kind of looking too full of colour. All right. I've also got, if you're enjoying this, I've also got a workshop that I will be running starting on Monday next week. So if you are enrolled in that, awesome. If you are still doing Inktober at the same time, that's fantastic. That doesn't, that doesn't matter. That's exactly what you should be doing. Thank you so much for joining me and painting along with me. I find it really inspiring. I will see you guys in the next one.